1, 2. This is a Kmart production brought to you by Doug's Chiropractic and Empire Towing and Recovery.
Listener's discretion is advised. Sawbells Podcast.
Okay. Episode 10, everybody. 10 double digits. All right. Who thought we would get there? Yeah, right?
We haven't canceled yet.
Yeah. Okay. Bills lost 24-18. This week's pizzas. Imperial from Abbott Road, South Buffalo versus Bocce Club on Bailey Avenue. Two heavy hitters. People always say that Bocce's an Imperial pizza. One is the North Bocce, one is the South Bocce. And after looking at these, tasting these, that's a pretty accurate description in my opinion. This week's pizzas are also brought to us by Does a Chiropractic. And we have another sponsor helping pay for equipment, Empire Towing and Recovery. Tonight at the Octagon, we actually have 8 people filling out that Octagon. So we have a party going on here. First, we have Dennis to my left. How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm really good. Then we have Brendon.
Hello, hello.
Then I have Michael.
Hello.
Mike.
Hello. Thanks.
Skip's back. Took a couple weeks off.
I'm back. Hello, folks.
We have Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello.
And then we have Corey.
Hello.
And Professor Pizza is somewhere around here.
Hi. Storms run.
All right. Denny, would you like to kick off the pizza?
Sure.
You can do it in any order you want.
Great. So I would say that both of them were like a little soggy, it seemed like. The Bocce one was a little more soggy, I felt like, for crust. Neither one of the crusts were very good, I didn't think. And the presentation were about the same. They're almost exactly identical. So I would say the cooked crust and cheese would go to Bocce, just because I felt like Bocce was kind of put together a little bit better. And that's about it. They're pretty identical, to be honest.
Okay. Brendon?
I have to say the cook on both of these is probably what I'd come to expect from a Bocce pizza, or I guess Imperial as well. Very similar. Imperial just crushing it with the number of pepperonis that they have on theirs compared to Bocce. A lot darker on their pepperoni too, so I think maybe a little bit more cooked, but definitely getting a little more char on their pepperonis. For that reason, I'd probably have to go with Imperial on the presentation and the cook and crust.
All right, Mike?
Before I start, I just want to say last week when I was here, you were all drinking beer, so I brought bourbon. Now no one's drinking. Thanks. So,
different night of the week.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I was born and raised on Bocce's Pizza, but you'll be surprised with my response. So, the presentation to me was a tie, but I gave it to Bocce's for the home field advantage. But then the cook, the crust, and the toppings, I all gave to Imperial. Cheese and sauce, the sauce was very similar, but I went to home field advantage again, so I have a tie. I like them both.
Okay. Skip?
All right. So, presentation, I think that the Bocce one looked a little cleaner to me. As far as the cook goes, I thought Imperial was better. I found a piece that was a little darker. I like a little burn on my crust. There was some cheese that was it got a little dark there and on the edge, and it looked really good. It was really good taste on that one. So for me, while I think Bocce looked better, the cook and the crust for me had to go to Imperial.
Sure.
Good Kyle, right? Tasty. Yeah, you know what? I've had Bocce's a lot. I was also, like Mike, raised on Bocce's. Right on Bailey's. And because I work in Lackawanna, I get a lot of Imperial. So they do embrace the whole Bocce's of the southern tier of the South towns. I get, both I think were a little, I don't think they realize they're going to be promoted on a podcast because I've seen them do better. I've seen better pizzas from both organizations. I gave presentation to Bocce's. I gave cook and crust to Imperial. Their crust is a little bit thicker than what you get from a Bocce's pizza. But they are, it might be a boring part of the podcast because they are very, very similar. There's not a whole lot of difference between them. But that's what I got. Right now, Imperial's up 2-1 over Bocce's.
All right, Corey.
So, going sixth in a round of picking two pizzas, I don't know how I say something original. So, I'm just going to copy pretty much, I think mostly what Dennis said, which was between the two, and everyone else said they're very similar. One thing that got me with the Bocce's is it had a lot more sauce over the crust, which I don't like. I think it's a little messy, but maybe it's because I'm not from Western New York originally. So overall, I would probably give it to Imperial. It seemed like it was cooked a little better put together, and I could actually see the part of the crust to put my hands on and grip from.
To be honest, we didn't invite you for your pizza review. We invited you for your
thank God.
comedic role.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we can do like a snake draft, and you can start again.
Yeah, you could go first.
No, right back
One
around
round,
this way.
one and done with pizza. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Professor Pizza, do you want to chime in?
I got you.
Okay.
Nobody can hear you when you're on the mic. There, son. Come on.
You just got to talk into it. All right, Professor Pizza.
I'm here. Don't worry.
That's my scorecard.
Sorry. For presentation,
Spit it out, Junior.
give me a second.
Okay, so I'll jump in while I wait for you. I am a bocce homer. When I came out to visit grandparents, because my parents were from here, we would always get St. Angelo's at Colvin and Egger, which doesn't exist anymore, or Bocce's. I haven't had Bocce's in a long time, and it brings me back. It was really good. But for the presentation, for sure, Imperial had way more toppings on there. Looked like it was cooked a little bit longer than the Bocce. Obviously, neither one really has a crust. It's more like a French bread style. And Bocce was a little bit chewier, not cooked as long, where Imperial had a denser bottom to it. It had a little rigidity to it. Because I'm missing so many teeth, I think I preferred the Bocce's. I got them summa teeth. So, but both are so far, I would think, neck and neck. And we'll get into the specific topping cheese and the stuff after. All right, Professor Pizza, did you gather your thoughts? Hello, wife.
I did.
Okay.
I gave presentation to Imperial, and my reasoning behind this conclusion is when you look at the Bocce's pizza, it all is like all flat. So like when you're gonna go grab the pizza, you're like grabbing like all the cheese in the sauce instead of like a normal good pizza where you have like that little elevated piece of crust at the end where you can grab onto.
Like a nice little handle?
Yeah, I didn't want to say it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Bringing
Bocce's didn't have it.
topography into this.
Yes, he is.
Yes, topography.
Yeah. Okay.
I gave cook to the cook was pretty even to me. Maybe Imperial was a little more cooked than Bocce's, but they were both cooked pretty good. The crust, I gave that one to Imperial because that there wasn't much on Bocce's, and by much I mean there wasn't. Do I do cheese?
You know what? Since you're standing right here, why don't you finish it out?
Snake draft style.
Yeah. Yep.
For cheese, I gave that one to Imperial. Actually, no, I lied. I gave that one to Bocce's. It just tasted a little bit better than me, but Imperial's cheese was still good. Sauce. Those two were pretty similar, and it was hard to pick it was a sigh. They were both pretty hard to pick from.
Okay.
So I give that one a tie, but they were both pretty good. Toppings, my favorite part. I was disappointed in my pepperoni presentation today from both places. None of them had any char. So that means I have to go on to quantity instead of quality. Oh, I want to eat that one.
I had a good char.
Mine's
on
charred.
Mine wasn't.
I guess the universal cup and char.
Yeah, well,
This is now an ASMR podcast.
yeah. So when I'm in doubt, and there isn't quality, I have to go to quantity. So I have to give that one to Imperial as well. They had way more pepperoni on there, so I have to give it to Imperial.
Your overall pick is Imperial?
Yes.
Okay. Dennis.
All right, so I think pretty much just on the toppings alone, Imperial had way more pepperoni, like not even close. So to me, Imperial wins overall because you got to love the Roni.
So I heard you correctly, Imperial.
Imperial, yeah.
Okay. Brendon, what do you got?
So similar to what Mike and Sean said, I'm a big bocce guy, and you as well. I'm very disappointed with the bocce pizza today. I know a lot of people said, like, oh, you know, the cheese over the crust and the little burn that you get from that. Usually that's, like, heavy on bocce, and I like that about it. Like, it's kind of sloppy. Usually you get that part that, like, breaks off all around the pizza because it was a little, you know, toasty on the edges, and you didn't get that today. I thought it was a little bit undercooked. I know we're not talking about cook, but just overall less pepperoni. I didn't think the taste was as good as Imperial. Really, really sad to say that Imperial definitely gets my vote today.
All right, we got 3-0.
But good pizza, so
Yeah.
good pizza's good pizza.
It's any given Monday, Sunday, whatever day, right?
Yep.
So, got to bring it. Bring what you brought. Mike.
So I'll give you the short version. My grandmother would roll over in her grave, but I have to go with the Imperial. I ate bocces. That was the treat going to my grandmother's house, you know. This Imperial was way better. I thought so.
I concur with that.
So far, you three or whoever voted for Imperial, you guys have liked that more rigid, dense bottom to it so far?
And the crust. I like the crust. That kind of did it for me. And bocces has never had a crust, so I don't you know, why tonight I want the crust, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't disappointed by the crust, but just overall.
It was like when you buy that bite into the at least me anyways, you bite through it and you almost had to like pull a little bit, where with the bocce you bite right through it.
Right.
So I guess it just depends on how much effort you want to put into
It's
it.
known for being softer. I
Sure.
think.
Yeah. Mike, did you want to? Are you just doing short version?
The short version's all you need.
Okay, Skip.
As far as the rest goes, the toppings, the cheese, the sauce, they were so similar to me. If you didn't tell me that they were two different pizzas, I don't think I would be able to tell.
I agree.
I think they were so similar. You really can't. I mean, the sauces were the same. The thing that did it for me was the cook on the Imperial was a little darker, which is what I like, and there was a little bit more zing. Whether that was the pepperoni or the sauce, I think it was pepperonis. Had a little bit of a bite to it, a little heat. So for me, I'm going with Imperial.
All right. Oh boy. Sean.
Don't worry.
Sean, welcome.
It's not going to be a clean sweep.
Hey, listen.
Homer.
Hey, listen.
It's not.
Sean, don't listen to all the critics. You talk as much as you want tonight.
I will absolutely, but I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to
Keep it short. You've never kept anything short.
I know. Well, it's going to hurt because I have a story to tell.
It's a lot of words and very little
All right,
content.
wrap it up. My turn.
I have a story to tell real quick.
Go ahead.
Do you remember a couple years back when we went to the Brighton Fire Hall and you brought 3 large bocce pizza and there was a gentleman from out of town who just came over and he wanted to look at it? He just was stared at our pizza.
I think that was the first year we did that.
Do you know the difference between a story and a question?
Hey, do you remember that story?
I remember bringing the bocces and was like, "Oh shit! I ordered way too much bocces."
We had a lot of bocce's pizza, but a guy just went. He literally came to us. He didn't ask for a slice. He's like, "I just want to look at it." I'm going to give it bocce's. It's going to be close, 3-2. You know what? Imperial, good pizza. I understand the crust was a little bit thicker, and I think that's what appealed to the masses. It had Imperial had a little bit too much sauce. It reminded me of Milano's on.
Molinaro's.
Not Molinaro's. There used to be a place on Milano's, which is now the Howling Rooster. There used to be a pizza place there called Milano's. They had a lot of sauce, and it was that sort of flavor.
The old guy that ran it by himself all
right,
the time. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So I gave the sauce to Bocce's. Toppings were split. I know Imperial had more, but the taste was identical. And when it comes down to it, presentation, cheese, and sauce went to Bocce's. Imperial got the cook, and it got the crust. Final score 3-2 for me. Bocce's at least got a vote. Corey?
Okay.
Wait a minute. Did you ever give the guy a piece of pizza? You had so much extra. Did you give him one?
That's a Kyle question.
I don't remember what happened.
He did not.
I'm
It
sure.
was all right.
I'm sure we would have given it
He didn't
away.
ask for one. He just wanted to stand at our table and look at it.
He was from out of town.
Yeah, he was from. I remember this plain as day.
Did the Bills win that day or no?
They did. I think there was
that
the
a
one-
Colts?
Yeah, I think it was the Colts one. It was the second one because the first,
That would have been the night that I got sick walking home.
Yeah, we walked
he's
home
only
from
gotten
that one.
sick
Maybe.
maybe 4 or 5 times, but every time he gets sick, it makes it on the podcast.
It does. Oh man! All right, Corey.
Okay, I'll echo what everyone else says. Between the two of pizzas that, for some reason, what time is it now?
It doesn't matter. 6:45.
So 6:45. To me, both of them kind of tasted like they were made at 4:00.
That is the disadvantage of them not being delivered from all across the city here. Yeah.
So maybe that's kind of holding them back. They weren't completely fresh.
But it is a good precursor to the day after, morning after slice.
I don't like cold pizza.
Oh, come on.
I know. I'll leave.
You don't tell me how I eat my pizza.
Yeah, I'll leave it myself. To wrap everything out, I'll say Imperial just because it seemed like it was cooked a little bit better. So that's the only thing that seemed like it kind of differentiated it between the two pretty much identical pizzas. So
All right. Short, sweet. I'm going to pick Bocce. I like that softer pizza. The sauce was, I think it had a little bit more of a zing to it than Imperial. Imperial had a ton of stuff on it, though. Ton of pepperoni. It was almost like you ordered extra pepperoni, which I did not. Maybe that was making up for the DoorDash debacle. Well, folks, small side story. I need to hire someone to order these pizzas because every time I try to order pizza to make it convenient for my friends to pick them up to bring them to our podcast, something usually happens. And today I ordered through DoorDash, and I ordered it for $5.25 to $5.35. I got a text at about $5:05 saying, hey, your shit's ready at $5.50. So then I got to coordinate with Dennis, who lives in God's country down there in South Buffalo. And, so I kind of, I don't know. They said they're two different entities, so live and learn.
What we didn't talk about was the value.
Okay.
And that's
yes.
a big
yes.
point.
Okay. So, Sean, you're a value man.
I'm a coupon guy.
it's not on the card.
No.
Bocce's offers a coupon.
Okay, so Imperial Pizza cost $37 and change, almost $38, and the Bocce was $30. So almost $10 more for Imperial.
-2 for the coupon.
We didn't do a coupon.
Value pack.
Oh, yeah. Every week they got it.
Yep.
So take that into consideration, folks. They were very large pizzas. They came with at least 12 slices, unevenly cut, though, but, which is great because there are the people, the older ladies and dudes watching their figure who want the smaller, I just want a small slice. Let me cut that in half. You already got a couple already cut in half for you. And then you got the monster slice. If you got that
Sean doesn't take the
whole
small
ramekin
slice.
to yourself of the blue cheese, you got a whole boat to scoop it with. So, all right. And then I got a signal from upstairs. We had another vote for Imperial. So that's about 7-2 on that. Bocce's, I was pulling for you. Sorry. I guess you could have cooked it a minute or two longer.
See, now, unlike all you Northtown guys, I'm a Southtown guy.
Yeah.
And,
you're the only one here.
Yeah. Well, I got to represent,
Yeah.
I mean, pretty happy about Imperial right here.
I like how you call them all Northtown.
Oh, you're the extreme north. We got one from Lake Ontario shoreline here.
You're just up there.
I'll tell you what North is, son.
Yeah.
Where do you live up there?
Sit.
Gasport.
Oh, okay. We have a cottage in Alcott. We're up there all the time.
Oh, yeah. That's like you're literally on the shore.
Yeah.
That's north of the wall, I think they would say.
Okay, folks, that would conclude the pizza section. So without further ado,
Pizza. 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 Pizza.
it's going. Okay, I found this. Oh,
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
All right, folks. The Bills, they had to win that game. They had to win that game, and they didn't. So I think their playoff chances winning the game was like 75% or 60%. Yeah, okay, even higher. And they lost, and now it's what, 50? 50, yeah.
I thought it was like 37.
Yeah, so it's even worse. So
It ain't good.
no, it ain't.
Nope.
So let's play this clip here from Colin Hurd about, is Sean McDermott era hurting Josh Allen? Because you got to think that he is a generational talent, and are the coaching staff wasting away a talent? And I'm sure I'm going to have a commercial to deal with.
Nope, right.
Nope.
The time we look at young men, 22 Bills Bengals last night.
Okay, sorry.
We talk about this all the time. We look at young men, 22, 23, 24, 25. I do this all the time. Well, he's got a ceiling. That quarterback's got a ceiling. Coaches have a ceiling too. Sean McDermott, I watched last night. He's Chuck Knox, former Bills coach, Seahawk coach, Ram coach. He's Marty Schottenheimer. Sean McDermott did a great job to clean up the mess. Very good with details, organization. Football 101 stuff. But I don't think, like Chuck Knox or Marty Schottenheimer, he's a visionary. He's a creative. This team is getting worse. After that opening drive by Joe Burrow to score, I really never felt Buffalo had a shot. I didn't. Josh Allen had a bad shoulder, and yet because they've never had a top 5 running game under McDermott, despite having Josh Allen. I mean, Baltimore's got a quarterback that moves. Why do they always have decent run games? McDermott has never developed a run game. 7 years, it's always, hey, Josh, can you save us?
Okay, let's stop right there. Anybody have any comments on that so far?
I agree 100%.
Yep.
I do too.
100%. You and I have had this discussion. I would have fired him after 13 seconds. At that point, when you have a game in hand, and I don't care that you're playing Kansas City, and I don't care if it was Leslie Frazier's fault or his fault, he needs to take the blame.
Yep.
He should have been gone then. I agree, he did. He changed this franchise around. He changed the culture. But he's exactly right. He's a defensive coach, and that's what he thinks first and foremost. It's ingrained in him, and it just frustrates me that he just let Josh be Josh. Let him do his thing. If he doesn't have a long career because he wants to run, then that's so be it. But just get me one. Just one.
Skip, easy on the table.
That's
Sorry
the guy
about
who
that.
stopped at halftime last
on
night.
the table, Skip.
I can't take it anymore. I get sick when I watch. It's just wasted potential.
One of my talents in life is to keep Skip going. So Skip, I'm going to kind of push your buttons even further. In sports, it's always reactionary to feel like, oh, the coach has got to go, the coach has got to this, after that. Here's the thing. We are fans for a reason. We get to watch and we get to observe and we get to vent, which is, again, thanks, Kyle, for this opportunity. But you have to have an answer. So if not McDermott, who would you like to see coach the Buffalo Bills? I'm not saying you're wrong, but we have to have an answer. What's the replacement going to be? Because if we're just going to fire him, well, okay, great. But what is your solution to this coaching problem?
I'm not the general manager.
Oh,
There's
that's
someone
excuse.
that gets paid millions. No, I don't. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you.
I can step in here.
Thank
I
you.
agree 100%.
Go, Denny.
And so, what about Jim Harbaugh if he stops stealing signs?
The only difference between Harbaugh and McDermott is Harbaugh is an offensive-minded coach. But did it work in San Fran? No, I understand what he had. I'm trying not to. There's a lot of static on. He was the Kaepernick era, all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't know that he makes that jump again.
I'd like to find out. I mean, I think I was never a huge fan of him, but I think that being on the offensive side, I think he can do it well enough to get us over the hump.
Rest assured that if this Michigan thing goes down, he will make the jump.
Yeah,
he'll go somewhere. But is he the answer? I don't know.
So my question is, what are you guys looking for an answer? So not necessarily saying names like Jim Harbaugh or other coaches that are out there. What type of coach?
Pick me.
What do you want to go? So McDermott's defensive. Do
Yep.
you want someone that's purely offensive?
Yep.
Do you want someone that can control the game?
100%. And young.
So you just want, like...
Young offense of mind.
At this point, I would take someone.
That's not Dorsey, apparently.
I would take someone who knows when to call a timeout and when to call a challenge. That
Absolutely.
He is not a game manager.
Nope.
I
He's
didn't mind
getting
that
worse and
challenge,
worse.
Because that looked like...
Are we talking about the Shakir catch?
Yeah.
Or not a catch?
Yeah. It was Sherfield, wasn't it?
Oh, Sherfield. Yeah.
At least, yeah.
I do agree about McDermott. He did a great job with changing the culture. Guys actually want to come here, which is great. And he got us to the playoffs, which was 17 years before we got there. So all that's great. But I think it's different times now. So I think we got to go.
I do agree with the ceiling. I think I made this argument after I forgot New England. I think I lost my patience with the coaching staff after New England. So it's hard for me to go against Skip, even though I so badly want to. To get back to your original question, you know who I'm looking for, and I don't know if he exists, but I'm looking for early 90s, late 80s, a Jimmy Johnson type coach. He just he took a team that was, I think, 1-15.
1-15.
1-15, and he was able within the span of about 3 years. He took over for Tom Landry's too. Was able to get them into a Super Bowl win too. Now again, he had tools. He had a running back. He had receivers. He had a quarterback. All of them were studs, but he also had an owner that was willing to spend. Not that Pagula's not willing to do it. But we always seem to be missing something. We can't quite... Listen, here's my revelation. I don't want to go too far off this, but I wasn't as angry or frustrated last night as I've been in the past. I had my Zen moment. I realized exactly what we are. The Buffalo Bills are a good team. They're not a great team. Mm-hmm. We're a great teams win Super Bowls.
Yep.
We're a nice team. We're a good team. We'll get in the playoffs. We'll get in. We might win a round like we've done the last 2 or 3 years. We might make it to the second. We might but we're not Super Bowl contending teams. We're just not. Everyone wants us to be, but we're not. We're a good team. We're a good team. We're not a great team.
But you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, which would have been at this point in the season the Jets,
right,
and the Patriots.
But here's the deal,
and I'm okay losing to the Bengals.
Yep, you lost to the Bengals. You lost on their home turf. You were close. I stayed up to the last minute 30 because they had a shot. Compared to what they did in the playoffs last year, to me, the Bills took a step in the right direction against a team that I was thinking they were going to come in here and whitewash the Buffalo Bills.
All right, let's play the rest of this clip a little.
Now he's starting to break down like early Cam and early Big Ben. Even at 6'6", 255, he takes too many shots. He is starting now to show his age. And McDermott is starting to show his ceiling. Football's not just about organizing stuff. We all know somebody like that. The great organizer in your family. You want to make them executor of the will. You want to have them the paperwork, cabinets, files, everything online. But who's the vision of this football operation? Defense, they're now 17th. Offense, they're now 17th. Special teams, PFF rates them 30th. What do they do well? You do not have to be in a salary cap league a perfect team anymore. You just can't be average at everything. You've got to be great at something. You've got to be able to lean into something. Kansas City, it's creativity. Cincinnati, it's Burrow and Chase. Philadelphia, it's Jalen Hurts and the O-line, D-line. You don't have to be great everywhere. I don't love the secondary play by Philadelphia. I don't love the receiving core for Kansas City. Cincinnati's O-line is okay. They've spent money and resources on it. It's never great. What is Buffalo good at? That is the responsibility of a head coach. You can't blame the quarterback. You can't blame Joe Burrow if the secondary for the Bengals isn't tight. This morning, this is embarrassing, with Josh Allen, one of the 3 or 4 seminal talents in the world playing quarterback. They are 1 game ahead of the Raiders. The Raiders. A tire fire.
That's
They're
bad.
1 game ahead of the Raiders and behind the Jets now with Zach Wilson. No excuses. It's time to pivot. Chuck Knox, older, I know, but that's what I grew up with. He cleaned up the Rams, the Bills, and the Seahawks. But then he would hit the ceiling. Didn't have great vision. Marty Schottenheimer cleaned up a lot of messes. But you got to be able to get to the next level. See stuff before it happens. There's a certain rigidity about Sean McDermott, and this franchise is now regressing. They're not Baltimore. They're not Cincinnati. They're not Kansas City. They're not Philadelphia. I don't think they're San Francisco. I'm not sure they're Pittsburgh.
Anybody disagreeing with
Josh
anything
Allen,
yet?
Stephon Diggs, a capable
Only thing I don't
offensive
like is the comment
coordinator, a
about
Pro
Josh's
Bowler on the
age.
offensive
I don't think
line.
that really has anything to do with it.
Very little rhythm, no run game. Hey, Josh, save us. I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but the coach that can clean stuff up often doesn't have the vision and sort of leans into rigidity. That's what makes a good organizer, right? Spotting all the little messes, cleaning them up. But right now, this organization is stuck and regressing. Just stuck. Cincinnati's not. Kansas City's not. Philadelphia's not. San Francisco's not. Baltimore certainly isn't. Jacksonville's surging. Look around the AFC. This isn't working. It's not. What are they great at? 30th special teams. 17th offense defense. I mean, they've got some good defensive personnel. They can be very special at times in the red zone. But you watched it last night. Cincinnati marched right down the field opening drive, controlled that football game. I never felt in the second half Cincinnati was in danger. Not one time.
Okay. Long clip, but a good clip.
I think, yeah, I can disagree with Brendon, what you said right there, but I think he's speaking for a lot of the fans. I'm going to throw my wife out there who takes the Buffalo Bills way too serious compared to me. I'm more kind of a laid-back Zen guru guy, but I'll tell you this. She's terrified we're wasting Josh Allen. And I think that's the running theme of the fan base is that, and I think that's what Colin was talking about was that we're wasting, and I think he's got a lot of prime years left. I mean, Brady is, my God, still playing in his 40s. I don't know if Josh can do that. I disagree that Josh is banged up and he can't carry it like Roethlisberger was later in his career. But I think there is that feeling we're wasting this generational talent. It's before our eyes. And I think that the fan base feels that way.
So, crazy question. Do you move the guy?
Who? Allen?
No.
Yeah.
No. So, Sean said something last week that stuck with me all week, and I actually discussed it with my wife, who she knows a lot about football, believe it or not. And he said that if we don't win one with Josh, we don't win one in our lifetime. And I hate to agree with him, but I do. And I think we need to win with Josh. Now, that being said, too, let me ask you this. So if we have an Eric Bieniemy calling the offense, do you think that McDermott's holding him back? Do you think McDermott handcuffs him? Or pick an elite offensive coordinator. And that's where I'm going with this. And that's what I sent in the chat today and in our text where, get rid of Dorsey. I said it last week. I think Josh is married to Dorsey. I think that's the problem. We have to let him play. We have to take the handcuffs, the chains off of Josh and let him play. Yes, he's injured. I know he is. That's his game. That's what he does. That's how he plays. When Josh extends the plays, we win. When he doesn't, he forces passes that we're all yelling at each other going, why do you throw that?
Right.
Yeah, I think that you can't worry about getting hurt. I think that that's going to happen. You hope that it's not too bad. You hope that your whole season isn't derailed by it. But I think it's going to happen no matter what. And I think that they've done studies and things like that, and all the quarterbacks will talk about how sometimes it's you get hurt more in the pocket than you do when you're running because you can control where you're going if you're running. There's different things like that. But I said it a couple of weeks ago here at the podcast that we were wasting Josh Allen, and I think other people are starting to realize that now.
I agree, 100%.
So, should they make a mid-season move on their offensive coordinator? And then, who's even around that is decent to bring in?
There's the should they and will they. Pagula is notorious for not allowing these moves until late in both franchises.
Right.
I don't know if necessarily going with a new offensive coordinator mid-season helps you.
No, I think it hurts you.
So let me ask you this.
You're kind of stuck with the guy all year long.
Yep.
I am in no way, shape, or form comparing Josh to Peyton Manning. But Peyton oftentimes called his own plays at the line. He'd go up to the line. He'd go into huddle with 3-4 plays, rattle them all off, and then when he saw the defense, he would call it. Why don't we let Josh kind of take over a little bit? Anyway.
Or is Josh doing that now and we just don't see it,
Right.
and he's maybe calling the wrong stuff?
If that's it, then that's a problem. then we need to fix that. But I don't think that's the case, because how often is he like this? He's listening to the play being called in.
Right.
Mike, I'm going to lend you a little credit here. One of the things I've noticed is when the Buffalo Bills are really firing on all cylinders is when their back is against the wall, when they have a 2-minute drill type thing, when there's less of the huddle.
Whoa. You have said notoriously on this show that they struggle when they play from behind.
They do.
Another game where they played from behind.
They do statistically, if you look at it. But when their back's against the wall, watch how they move the ball. I mean, think about that one. They can go down the field in 80 yards in about a minute and a half, but that's only they only seem to be able to put it together when it's do or die time.
Right, and
they don't always do it. I mean, I think they have a good chance of winning that game, short of Kincaid's fumble right there. I mean,
right,
I
what
think
happened with that.
I mean, but if you watch that drive before that fumble, I mean, they were doing what Cincinnati did on the first play. They were marching down that field like they owned it. I just wish they could do that from the start of the game and be consistent.
Absolutely.
And they were talking about that today on WGR. There was a lot of talk around after McDermott's press conference today, because they asked him and they said, why does it take so long to get to the hurry-up offense? Why don't we stick to that? Why do we go away from it? And all he had to say was, we want to, we're trying out some different types of offense.
What hurry-up offense? Because for
they started in the no huddle.
Yeah, but for the last, 4 minutes? When did
and
they
the
get
last
the ball
game
back
they
at the
started
very
in
end?
no huddle too when they scored.
It took them 4 minutes to get down there. There was no hurrying at all. That's why I said it. Like, I saw them get the ball back last night, and I was like, all right, if they move down quickly, they can get the ball, have a stop, and get it back again. And there was no urgency. Yeah, there was no sense of urgency at all when they were going on their last drive.
Well, it seems they're successful with it, and then it's like, well, we did that for one drive, and we're going away from it. Like,
why?
It's okay to keep doing this. They might make adjustments, but that's a hard offense for any defense to react to.
I feel like there's too many adjustments.
So I'm wondering, though, because the Bengals marched down on a nice sustained drive, the Bills scored pretty quickly compared to that drive. Do you think that they thought, oh, shit, we have to have our defense get a breather, so maybe we shouldn't score that fast?
Is that what complimentary football would
that's
say
what
you should do?
I was listening, on the way here, and that's what everyone's talking about. Complimentary football is making sure that your offense and your defense are on the field the same amount of time.
I don't know. If he says that one more time, I'm going to kill myself.
Which definitely didn't happen yesterday. Defense was playing all game long.
Mm-hmm. We get pretty close to no run game too. Besides Josh running it, which was great to see. And I don't agree with that penalty that he got in the first quarter there.
The taunt?
Yeah, the taunt. Not at all.
Yeah, that was.
I mean,
I totally agree with that penalty.
My wife said that was bogus too.
If you watch that penalty, he's turning, he's looking, he's pointing with that shit grinning. My wife tried to make the argument. She's like, I can't believe it. Then they slowed it down. They showed Josh tilting his head. And I don't think there's any harm in it. I think it was, I think it was blown out. But it does, he gives him that wink and that smile like, I got you. And is that the spirit of the NFL? I think they don't want that, but
the NFL is no fun league.
Yeah.
You can't have fun. I actually saw a tweet today that said that if he crossed the goal line and didn't point at him, that Josh should have gotten a penalty. So, and you were talking about, is that me? You were talking about, someone said when they let off, it's 21-7 at halftime. We only allowed 3 points in the second half. Yeah. So if our offense gets their shit together for a couple of drives, we win the game. So what happened?
Yeah, once again, it's our beaten up defense holding us in games, and our offense absolutely losing it.
Yep.
And there's
not
there's
winning.
more injuries too. Like
it's
Bernard
getting
has a
worse.
concussion.
Yeah.
And I think Benford
Benford's
something's going on with him. I forget what.
So Josh Norman will be starting.
Hyde.
Probably.
But
Oh, boy.
what they have is they're still going to find a way to somehow keep us somewhat in the game.
Right, you got Denver Monday night.
And we have our offense that, are there any injuries on it?
I mean,
Not besides
Dawson
Knox.
yeah.
Okay, so they just suck.
Yeah, they do.
They're not playing anywhere near how they should be.
Well, and all these rankings that say, like Cowherd was just saying, you're 17th on offense. That's so skewed by the first couple of weeks when we were actually scoring points too.
Right. Take those out.
First couple of weeks out, we might be
20s.
high 20s. Yeah. That's why I was saying last week, our offense is, we have the weapons. How are they not scoring points? How are they not putting drives together?
And that has to be coaching.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing that's left.
Play calling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the defense banged up enough where Hamlin's going to get dressed and play?
Maybe. I almost sent you guys a picture from the Buffalo Bills posted it, and I didn't want to do it because it was a big Damar Hamlin love fest on that game yesterday. But they showed him like walking around and like dabbing people up, and he had like special cleats on. And I was like, "What are you wearing cleats for? You're inactive."
Yeah. So he doesn't slip on that turf.
I guess so.
Breaking a new pair in.
Yeah. Is there any highlights? What was the good thing you saw?
I definitely liked the Josh taunting. I feel like that means he's in the game. All that, like something's missing on the sidelines. Something's not right. Like either they're thinking
Diggs
too much
isn't
or something.
even.
Even Diggs is not in it. Josh Allen's not into it.
So is this a locker room problem too?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what it is exactly, but they're not the same way that they used to be.
Aside from the fumble, I like Kincaid again this week.
Yeah, Kincaid looked good.
So, someone told me today
that was a tough shot, though.
That was an amazing defensive play, though.
Yeah, that guy, punched that out. That was beautiful.
I almost threw up, by the way. I literally I watched almost the whole game, and I was trying to do all sorts of things, and I left, and I missed it. I came back, and as I came back into the view of the TV, Kincaid is going over, the ball's bouncing out, they recover it, and I almost throw up. Literally, spontaneously throw up, because they were marching.
Yeah.
It was
on the 10-yard line.
Would you say that would be the Doug Zick backbreaker play of the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote that down. That's what I got there is the backbreaker because that was it. That was you could see a path to victory.
Especially when the Bills defense held Cincinnati to 3 points in the second half.
Plenty of time left. That fumble
2 quarters.
occurs. Right, that fumble occurs very early in the fourth quarter. You had a lot of time.
Hey, Sean, I want to say to you, I'm very happy for you that you found a Zen moment last night. I was freaking pissed.
I did. I realized what we are. It took this long, into the season. Whether it's Vegas hyping us up, our own fan base hyping us up, the media hyping us up, I realized what we are. We're a good team. We're not great. We'll never win a Super Bowl this year. I mean, we're talking lightning in the bottle. All of our guys have to come back healthy, and we have to just catch fire at the right time. But we're a good team. We're not great. San Francisco has the potential of being great. The Eagles can be great.
Who gives a shit about them?
I'm just telling you. Those teams are in the great category. I finally reached that level where we're not. We're in the good category.
So we're drought era football or better?
No, I don't think so. I mean, listen. We've hit a nice patch of consistently been in the playoffs. I think it's to be expected. We're expected to be there. I think the Sheen's kind of coming off a little bit of that. We may not make it. We have the second hardest schedule in the back end to play. So but here you want a silver lining? Miami still can't beat a good team.
Not yet.
So it's your division right there.
Sean,
I'm not sure we can.
Neither can Buffalo.
Right. Yeah. But so I said this earlier today. I said the only way I think that we make the playoffs is if we win the division. I don't think we get in as a wild card. And the only chance that we have of winning the division is the fact that Miami's schedule is difficult. It's not as bad as ours, but it's difficult. That being said, y'all are going to jump on me about this, but watch out for the Jets. The Jets are sneaking up, and if Miami's schedule's bad and our schedule's bad, then who knows? But I think we need to win a division.
If the Jets win tonight, they're ahead of us.
Yeah. And I don't think that's anything to jump on you about at all. Like, I can see us totally finishing third in this division this year based on what's left in our schedule. Miami's got a slightly easier schedule. I mean, honestly, I think you have to go at least 5-3 the rest of the way, and I don't know if I see those wins. No. At least the way the team is right now, and possibly getting worse defensively.
That's the thing. We might be good, but I would be happy if we were just consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, you see the stretch around Thanksgiving, right? Philadelphia at Philadelphia, Kansas City at Kansas City, then Dallas here. 3 games in a row. We have the bye week in between.
Those are tough games. I don't see us winning maybe one out of those 3, if we're lucky.
When I think of that,
oh, there you go. What do we?
He's drinking
out of those baby bottles.
Yeah. If the playoffs started today, we would not be in it. No. So I think we have a lot of work to do, and we hope that people get healthy, like after the bye and things like that. But you can't count on it. So I think we got to figure something out.
It's a little skewed only because the Jets haven't played yet. If the Jets win, we're technically out. If the Jets lose, we're still technically in a playoff spot tonight.
It's a bad place to be.
Oh, terrible! I mean, absolutely.
Either way,
I said at the beginning of the season, I thought we were the third best team in the AFC East, and I think after tonight, that's going to be a fact.
what hurts so much about that though is it's still with Rodgers out and the Jets are still there.
Yeah.
If he somehow comes back, watch out.
And it looks like he's gonna.
Yeah, and I don't think everybody keeps saying this about the Dolphins, like, oh, they can't beat a team that's over 500. Honestly, we can't either.
Nope.
Yeah,
we beat the Dolphins though.
Yeah, great.
That's the
No, I know.
We play them
part.
again.
Say the
I don't
same
know if
thing.
we do.
Yeah.
You looked so good against the Dolphins, so good, firing on all cylinders. Perfect game from Josh, and then they just crapped the bed after that.
And that's a divisional game. You know what's going to happen. There's always going to be divisional games where something fluky happens, but it's
Denver, Kansas City.
yeah.
But
We shouldn't have this many games that we're dropping that we should be winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Patriots game to me is the one that hurts the most.
Yep.
There's no way in hell we should have lost.
Mm-hmm.
But we did, and here we are, losing again.
100%.
So, is Josh really as good as people say he is?
Yes.
He has 91 turnovers since 2018.
You live by the sword.
91.
So based on a text that you sent last night, I did some research.
Okay.
Okay, so Jim Kelly
Yep.
played for us 11 years.
Okay.
He had 100, and I think it was 75 interceptions in 11 years. It was some crazy number.
Wow.
19 one year, 18 another year. He had 1 year that he threw over 30 touchdowns. Allen has thrown over 30 touchdowns the last 3 years. He's on pace for less interceptions in a total if you go through the 11 years.
All right.
He's, 6 or 7 years in.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'll rest my case.
What about Brett Favre?
Hey.
Guy has 2, right? 2 Super Bowls?
I think just one.
Just one? Was it one?
Yeah.
Against New England.
And Rodgers got the other one? They went to 2. They won one, lost one. That's right.
He has one though. That's more than
So,
on this one.
Like,
Sorry, the
ice cream
machine
machines
Soft serve machine just
saying,
kicked on.
please eat me.
I realized someone listened to the pod last week. Do you know who tuned into the pod, Kyle?
Please tell me who.
Joe Burrows.
Oh, yeah?
He did. And you want to know why Joe Burrows turned in? You want to know why he had the game he had? Because when we were talking, I think last week or it might have been 2 weeks ago, about Josh Allen being a top 3, top 5 quarterback, you know who we left out? Joe Burrows. We didn't even bring him up. He never even got a sniff in terms of being he proved last night. I think he's proved for the last 2 or 3 years by taking his team to a Super Bowl, by probably should have maybe getting in 2 years in a row, that he's a top 3 quarterback. And the question is he better than Josh Allen?
Hey, he even did it with 9 fingers.
Right. It was disgusting, but it was great.
The bloody finger.
Yeah, Joe Burrows. Joe Burrows was full value, and that was the thing that stood out to me the most. Their quarterback made plays when it was third down.
Yeah.
Ours only in the fourth quarter.
I will ask, though, who is Joe Burrows?
I was going to ask him the same thing. Because when he listens to it this week, he's probably going to be pissed at you. You called him the wrong name.
Burrow.
Sorry. Is there multiples?
That's a Western New York, that's Joe Burrow. Sorry,
Listen.
Joe Burrow. The violas. Yeah, that's right.
You're a teacher. You should know better.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I was...
He's not a good teacher.
Is this
Not at all.
was this also another game where the Bills definitely got outcoached because it seemed like Cincinnati's defensive coordinator was like, all right, we'll let you put one in and then we're going to shut that down.
I mean, their defense is good. I mean, the Cincinnati defense is good.
So the Bills' offense is just that bad.
I think
Yes.
so.
And they just can't adjust.
Yes.
Yeah.
They shouldn't adjust. They should dictate the play, I think. I think
excellent.
you have to show them what you're doing and just do it. Like, be good at something.
Right.
That's it.
Good take.
I was
Yep.
interested to see tonight what you had to say about Gabe.
Gabe who? Which stinks.
I think it's in the back of the milk cartons, right?
Oh, my God. I mean, what did Diggs have? 6 catches, maybe?
6 for 86 and a
80.
touchdown.
I don't think
How about that one catch where he just
34 yards.
the rifle to the touchdown and then the 2-point?
No,
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 Diggs.
Diggs.
Yeah.
Where he took that
Where he
screen and
yeah.
just broke
Just-
it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was.
I think that's the most yards after catch that he's had in several seasons.
Because he had the same. He had basically the same play. What, third week? Was it New England? No, not New England.
Miami.
You can't talk into it when you're placing it to him. You got to point it at you.
Where he slid, they didn't touch him. He got back up and he kept running.
Yeah, that was Miami. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was very impressed with that. That was a nice single effort that he put in on that with all the contact.
I have Gabe Davis fair. He's not a game changer. So, he's
Well,
up for a contract.
how are you going to change the game if you don't get the ball thrown at you that much, right?
You know what? You got to have confidence in the receiver. Regardless, if they had confidence in him, he would get the ball.
How many times did you throw it to him?
It doesn't matter, Kyle. It doesn't matter.
Well, guy didn't catch the ball if they don't throw it to him.
But when he's getting the balls, he's not catching them. Gabe Davis is not a game changer. He's not a number 2 anymore.
Oh, that's a play that should have been on the first one.
Oh, the finger in the face mask?
Yeah, freaking turned his head.
Right. Yeah.
That's 15 yards all day long.
Even get
okay,
me
we won't
started.
get into the penalties. Not yet. We'll wait until you're about to leave, and then we'll get you fired up for your ride home.
Well, I got 2 more things. I want to talk about penalties. I want to talk about ownership.
Oh.
Receivers can't stop their routes. That's illegal. It's intentional grounding.
Listen, they had that ref come on and explain the rule.
The ball is in the fucking air.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Like, how are you going to call
F-word.
that on a quarterback?
Bleep that out.
We're not bleeping anything.
No, you're forgetting the play before when the one Bengals slid tackle Kincaid.
That was a trip. That was a trip.
It was a slide
That was a trip.
tackle. Timmy K would
That
have
was
been
a trip.
proud in soccer. You can do that.
That's a trip.
You can't. Blatant. The guy had the ball.
There
And then
were-
you're going to sit there and look at the rule book and call.
Mrs. Viola, will
intentional
you call
grounding.
your husband to get him to stop for a
Tell him
second?
this. There was I sent this to you. I don't know if you had a chance to look at it yet. There's a video. Shout out to
12.
Bill's news court. I want to give him the proper props here because he's a good dude.
Keep talking.
Yeah, keep talking for a
No,
second. Let me find
Sean,
it
you're
real
done.
quick.
You've matched your allotted time.
Bill's News Consolidated. I follow him on Instagram. He put a video together of 12 penalties that were called on us that weren't or turnovers. Or one of them was the catch that was a no catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
That one I would agree with. I don't know if that was the catch, but the other 11 that he showed were blatant. It was the pass or the grounding, intentional grounding, which was BS. The taunting, which was absolute garbage. Let them play. He
But
didn't
in
give
full speed, it was just a quick point. But when they slow it down, it looks like he's pointing at him for an eternity.
Yeah. Well, you can make it,
Yeah, if you pause
make it look like
of
anything you
course
want to
it's
look
gonna
at.
last longer.
Okay.
I do want to know if
You had-
Tyreek Hill's getting that call every time he gives somebody a little peace sign as
See,
he's
that's just
running
it. He
into
does
the
that
end
every
zone.
time he scores.
No, and that's what the guy says. He sees that play all the time, a little point.
Skip, how about the roughing the passer?
Garbage.
Roughing the passer was absolute garbage. It was like a bang bang play. How is he? The man is almost 300 pounds. How is he going to stop himself when he's launching himself?
And it wasn't even that bad. He didn't even land on top of the guy.
Yeah,
He
you
pulled
had
him on
the-
top of him.
That was
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
The Kincaid, which was that was a slide. I mean, he tripped him. There's
Yep.
an absolute trip.
Yep.
You had the face mask in the end zone. There were several of them, and they were just the
Oh,
holding.
that
the holding
Spencer
on
Brown-
Spencer Brown,
that
which was
ghost call.
garbage.
Yeah, ghost call.
I mean, the guy's got these arms, wingspan of a condor for crying out loud. He didn't hold them.
Yeah.
It was absolute garbage.
Probably held on like 10 other plays, but
But yeah, not that particular one. Yeah.
And this is a problem league wide, not just Buffalo. You see these game checks, these guys are getting docked for hits that don't exist.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yep.
And I follow J.J. Watt. He's a guy I like, and he posts that these guys are losing. For some of these guys, it's big money. For some of these guys. And he, as soon as that roughing the passer happened, he posted, he's like, if that's roughing the passer, our game is fucked. Oh, sorry, our game is screwed. But
F word's allowed.
we have an advisory before
I
this,
did that.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the penalties like league wide. I think, especially in a primetime game, and I've said this before too, is that like you want to have your better referees, right? To show
You would think on a big primetime game,
to
yeah.
show it off to everybody, but yet it always happens where that doesn't happen.
hey, Dennis,
But it's the Bills.
You have to have good referees to have better referees.
That's true. That's true.
So, Skip, in that clip that you sent me with that guy, was he saying that because he's a 6-year ref that these bad calls are okay, or the fact that he's been doing it for 6 years, it's unacceptable?
I think he's saying.
I wasn't sure
Yes,
which way to
he's-
take that.
So you don't just become a head referee without being a back judge, a side judge, a line judge.
yep,
So
yep.
he's been here for a while. So he's been good enough to be able to get himself into a leadership role to be the head referee.
Yeah.
For the last 6 years, he should know what he's doing. These refs, I feel like they interject themselves just when they don't need to. Just let them play. It ruins the flow of the game, Sean. Did you hear me? It ruins the flow of the game.
I had down as a cute little side bit. It was a flag festival. That's what it was yesterday.
Festival?
It was a flag festival, and you know what? I agree with you, Skip.
Fun with flags.
I really, 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 really wanted to just keep you going, stoke that fire. But the bottom line was, no, those flags had an impact. The missed calls, and I think in any sport, you want the referees to have control of the game, but you don't want them to be a determining factor in the outcome of the game. And that's what we had yesterday, for better or worse. And I agree, Denny, I think you pointed it out. You want your best. On prime time, you want your best. You don't want the referees to play. And it sounds like a homer take, but there were a number of calls where, again, you're thinking to yourself, I'm just an average football player, and I know that's not a penalty.
When I think of refs, I think of like being an offensive lineman. If your name doesn't get mentioned, you're doing your job. So that's how the ref should be. If you're not, obviously there's egregious things that happen. You have to do what you have to do. But I think you just kind of try to stay out of it. Let him play a little bit. You know.
And I'm still pissed about that slide tackle.
Oh yeah.
How is that? Like, did he get fined or anything?
Who knows?
Not that we know of.
They didn't even get penalized.
To me, that looks like a finable offense. You are attacking somebody with your feet.
When they were saying, "Oh, well, he got his arm up."
Yeah.
And it's
no,
like, is
your arm
that enough
up.
to
He's
not call
slide
that?
tackle.
I don't think
so. What's he even thinking doing that?
I actually, I texted you guys. I hated that whole series because Kincaid goes down after that, and I was like, "Oh shit, is he actually hurt?"
Allen goes right to him.
And then Allen goes right to him. As I thought he was going to hobble off the field, but he didn't. He hobbled like back into the huddle, and he couldn't. Yeah. And then he catches the ball somehow. But if you watch him run that route, he's not running. He's like limping through the route. It's like you had nowhere else to go.
Is Kincaid our only person we can put on the field as a tight end right now?
No, unless is Morris out?
So why didn't
I thought he
come
was
out
out
for that one play?
I thought he was trying to save time. I think he was right to the line to save time, and he's like, just get me on the line. He didn't even run a normal route. He went out 3 steps, turned. He happened to be open.
It was no
game.
game.
Wounded.
It was
I think
no
he
game.
was just trying to get to the sidelines.
Right. But speaking of the penalties, not to beat a dead horse, I don't know if this is like just a Bills problem, because I heard today that the Bills are tied for the most penalties in the whole league.
Oh God!
And I don't know if that's because we have so many primetime games and these refs are just like trying to be the man, or if this is a league-wide problem, because actually when the Bills play so many primetime games, I actually get to watch a lot of other games on Sundays.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more flags being thrown than ever before. I don't have any stats to support that, but I would be interested in that to see where we're at in the season, how many flags overall there have
Fact
been.
check that, Sean.
Yeah, get on that.
Total flags in the room.
I looked that up, and the stat that I saw, we are not
Is that
the most penalized.
classified information? The NFL
actually-
doesn't let that information
There's actually
out.
4 teams that were above us
Oh,
As of today?
as of today. I don't remember what they were. It was this morning. I'm sorry.
oh.
I can't.
Hey, I got an anonymous texter on the text line here.
All right.
That somebody's sharing the inside info from today's Bills Zoom call. A recap. Ken Dorsey is still the OC calling plays. McDermott still has faith in that man. Dorsey says rhythm is getting first downs. Dorsey hasn't thought about leaving the booth for the sideline. Why would you? I like it being upstairs because then you can see what the defense is doing better, I would think.
I don't know if that's going to change his terrible play calling.
No, I would think no. They want to remain a balanced and 2-dimension offense. What are the dimensions?
Who knows? I don't think he knows.
And a lot of talk about executing better. Yeah, that's a good one to start right there.
If they run a little bit, that kind of
Are the dimensions passing and running?
I would think so. I mean,
Catching, is that one?
hopefully.
Blocking, is that one?
Well, not our offense.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Bills clearly lost in the trenches last night, right?
my God.
I mean, how many times was Burrow like the first knuckle away from being tackled for a sack?
Yeah,
Did they sack him once?
They each had 1 sack.
Each team had one?
But the one
But
that
I thought
was
Josh got
bad.
sacked like twice or something more.
The one he was going down and he threw the ball.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I have that in my notes that we just couldn't get to Burrow. So I mean,
Another
talking
game,
about the calf.
another game of an uncontrolled pass rush, and he seems to be able to squirt out, all the time. It's like so frustrating to watch, where they're getting pressure, but they're not getting pressure.
I think at least we got a taste of Von Miller. A couple of times he made his presence felt. He almost got a sack.
I was going to say the exact opposite thing.
Dude,
Okay.
he sucks.
I'm not saying he was a superstar, but at least
He is so slow.
It's the first game where I noticed him. Like he actually
Because they played him a few series?
He almost had Burrows. He almost had him for a sack right there at the end. Like
I was asleep.
I noticed him fall on his face in front of the guy and let him get the first down that cost us the end of the game.
Two sides of a story, Viola.
Just saying.
And I also
noticed
checked. So this is how much I was prepared to talk about how bad Von Miller's been. He didn't have a single tackle the entire game.
No.
Okay, has he tackled yet this season? I don't think he's touched a guy.
I don't know.
I don't think
get up
he's
from a
even
tackle.
touched an opponent yet.
So you touch the guy that's blocking you.
I don't even know if he touches him.
I think no. I saw him when he was trying to rush around him. He actually touched the guy first.
I'm a big Miller fan. I was a Von Miller fan when he was in Denver. I love that he won the Super Bowl in L.A. The only Bills jersey I own is a Von Miller.
You might want to sell it.
Yeah, I am
Return
not
it.
happy at all.
Yep.
Now,
Get your money
with
back.
That being said, he is less than a year away from a torn ACL. He's back. We saw what happened to Trey White and how long it took Trey White to kind of get back to where he was finally playing the way he did, and then he got injured again. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm hopeful that he's got a little game left in him.
I guess I would refer to the earlier episodes of Zabil's podcast where we said, hey, would you want Von Miller back as soon as possible, or do you want him back for a good playoff push? And I'm wondering if this kind of experiment that they're doing with him, hey, play 10 plays in this game, play 25 plays in this game, is bringing him back too early. Is he still having discomfort? Is
Dennis?
this not really a great way to
You were a proponent
treat
of
this?
bringing him back ASAP for Jacksonville and London.
I was hoping,
And?
I was hoping that he would play a little bit better. I mean, I got to be honest, he's really underwhelmed big time. I think before he got hurt, I think he was excellent last year before he got hurt, and so since he's come back, he has done almost nothing. Like I don't know if he's tackled anybody.
I don't think
he has.
He hasn't had a tackle. I was
Yeah.
just saying he touched somebody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I think I did hear that he
Slap hands.
he was on a podcast and he said that last night was the best he's felt. So you would hope that maybe something will happen sooner or later. But I'm not
Or
gonna
do you
hold my
just say that just so people listen to the pod and they don't pick up on, oh shit, my knee sucks. So
could be.
Still got the brace on. Not sure if he'll ever take it off, but I mean, he just.
Yeah, I think the brace is okay to stay there. I think you have to. He's learned how to play with it, right? So I mean, he's had this injury before, so you would think that he would kind of know what to expect, or things like that.
Yeah.
So we're pretty far from when they cleared him. I think he came back week 5. I think that was the Jacksonville game.
So he's been back 4 games, 5 games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping real soon we hear something from him.
And is Rousseau still on the roster? Because I haven't seen the last couple games.
I saw him on the sidelines.
Okay, that's a good spot for him, I guess.
And Miller supposedly did not have a pitch count last night, right? Snap count.
Sure.
I saw him out there a handful of times, it seemed like.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Epinesa
use him.
still on this roster?
Didn't see him last night.
I saw
Okay.
him once. He was out there once.
Okay.
I just saw him walking, but he was out there once.
Did anyone observe Douglas?
I didn't really notice him. I noticed that
heard
D
his
tackle
name.
more than him,
Oh,
especially when
that big dude when he stuffed him on that 3rd and 1 and like
he was the one who got the sack on Joe Burrow. I think when he picked him up from behind and shoved him
Checked his
forward.
oil.
yeah. Yeah, he okay. What about, and I think I saw a highlight where Josh Norman is like playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was out there on defense. I saw.
Yep.
How does he look?
I mean, I didn't like him back when he was good.
Yeah.
So I don't. I mean, I didn't pay that close enough attention. I think by that point in the game, I was kind of more pissed off than anything.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got a totally different defense than what we started with.
Oh yeah, big time. I think the defense isn't the problem because the defense is keeping us in the game.
Yeah.
It's our offense. If our offense can go out there and score, that they should be able to, then we wouldn't be in the position we're in now right now.
So they're keeping us in the game, but we got to generate turnovers. That's the worst part. We're still there, but it's not the same defense.
I mean that's great, but I think we're on like the 3rd or 4th string for some of the positions. Yeah, So I think you can only ask so much of them at this point. I think, and they I think somebody said it before that we only let three points in last night in the second half.
Yep,
that's huge.
Huge.
So I think our offense and the special teams being 30th. I think Colin Cowherd said that's horrible. 30th. I mean, come on.
I think we're also forgetting exactly what Cincinnati did the week before against San Francisco. In San Francisco, which is a very good football team, which,
I've heard somebody say they're a great football team.
They are a great football team. And
Twice.
They walked into their barn, and they whipped them good. I mean, they beat San Francisco solidly. I mean, I was terrified because we had actually made our predictions before that Cincinnati San Francisco game. And I watched that game because it was on TV, and they owned San Francisco, which is a very good team. So I gave us no shot. And the fact we were within one score, that's why I know we're not great, but I feel like the Bills still have potential. Their defense is basically being held together by bubble gum and duct tape.
Speaking of those picks before from last week, Dennis and Brendon were the only ones who got their picks correct.
Hated to do it.
Yeah.
Just felt that way.
Yeah.
Last week, Sean had a question for us on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you feel about Josh's injuries? Has anybody's opinion changed this week?
I actually feel a little bit better, I think. I think that him playing, I don't think it really affects him as much from what I saw. I think that the interception, I think that was a bad read more than anything else last night.
He did air one out.
To Hardy.
Yeah.
I like the trick play, too. The trick play, I liked the trick play last night, the flea flicker, yeah. So I feel like even though it wasn't complete and, it wasn't really even close to being complete, I think that still kind of makes the defense play off a little bit. So let them know that you're there and,
I mean, at this point in the season, with what I see, it just the Bills just need to just freaking score as many points as possible. And if you got to sacrifice your defense on getting rest and, lessening their snap count and time on the field, I think you just have to outscore people.
Well, I think that going back to what Colin Cowherd said, did I get his name right?
Colin Cowherd.
Cowherd, yeah.
Cowherds.
Herds, yeah.
driving here, I kind of had the same sort of thought. We're not superior. You look at teams, he was right. You look at Kansas City, whether it's their quarterback and Kelsey. You look at the Eagles, whether it's their running game and the brotherly love push. They have that. Tush push. The Bills, we didn't load up once again at the deadline. We kind of spread it out. We needed some defensive help. We got that. We picked up a running back. It always seems like we're missing that one player, but in this case, we're missing that one player on both sides of the ball. We want it to be Von Miller. He's not ready. And we don't have that secondary receiver to play off of Diggs where we can sit there and own a team. And we just don't have it.
I think the Bills didn't listen to the podcast because they did not listen to anyone we suggested to get in free agency.
They did go after defense, though, which
they did.
Guys on this side of the table said they should do.
They did.
So.
They did. And then why does I got a clip I want to play in, but I'm going to finish this question. Leonard Fournette, why? Prove me wrong. Why? Why do they need him?
Someone, from what I heard, it's someone who can catch the ball out of the backfield.
So can frickin' Cook.
I think Cook can. They just don't.
I don't know.
I'm not yelling at you. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Is it to preserve Josh's body in tush pushes and goal lines?
Could be, and he's depth. I mean, let's be realistic here. He's running back depth. I mean, he gives you another He gives you.
Did he even dress last night?
No, he's practice squad right now.
Yeah, so he's probably not in game shape, probably for 3 more weeks. But he gives you depth. He gives you another option you have to try to really. Listen, there's some reason why they're not running the ball. I mean, I think we all agree Cook has made vast improvements.
I don't think their line's good enough then, right?
Cook looked good. I think it's the offensive line. And I think the Fournette signing is depth because Harris, I think he hurt his neck, so he's on IR, so I don't know when he's...
So he's gone at least 4 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of health and injuries, here is a soundbite that I took off the Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray, Tom Brady, and
doing great, Jim. It's nice
Larry
to have
Fitzgerald.
One of my friends on today, a fellow California kid, but someone I really look up to and admire for the way that he's playing the games is one
another
of the
guy
tough
that likes to talk
out there
like,
that I had a chance to compete against. Josh, thanks for coming on with us.
So we don't hear from
Super grateful to have you, and you're having a great season. And you have since the day you came into the league. You know, you've been a big, tough competitor, and there's been a lot that's placed on you. And I know how
That's his
Bills
guest.
Mafia is. They got
He
big
told me he's having a good
expectations for
season.
you, and you played in a lot of big
was a long
games,
time
and you
ago.
performed really well. And I really appreciate you being with us.
Well, thanks for having me on. It's some nice words coming from the likes of you. Obviously, I grew up a huge Tom Brady fan. There's no secret to that. I know Bills Mafia wasn't the happiest.
I hate it.
Pictures on the internet of me wearing his jerseys and Patriots gear and all that jazz, and it gets posted every time we play the freaking Pats. That picture always comes up, but you can't fault me for that. And like Tom said, both California kids, but someone that I obviously looked up to and tried to emulate as a kid, and still continue to do so.
Josh, what's it like to represent that area? People feel the wrath of the Bills Mafia on the outside. Tommy felt it for those 20-plus years. What's it like to be on the inside?
Has the Mafia really helped us?
Well, what I feel is it's a fan base that
losses?
Tom alluded to earlier. They love football here. They love the Bills. In Mafia, I really think that's a term for family, right? Like it is so family oriented here. It reminds me so much of how I was born and raised in my hometown. In terms of everybody feels like they know everybody, and it's just one big community. But it's not a huge city. Obviously, there's not all the high rises and places to go to eat and party and club and all that stuff. But I think that makes Buffalo unique, especially for the players, because they come here and we hang out with each other. We get to do things as a team. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight?
Does it look like that when they're playing that? Does it look like the Diggs and Josh hugging and stuff has stopped? And
we definitely
They should probably hang out at practice.
Or maybe other people in LA or Miami, like all these big cities that have these
I feel like
teams.
you're not seeing it. Yeah, someone said
Maybe an
that
hour
they
and a
cut to
half away
Josh
from each other
Allen.
based
He's
on where
just
they
sitting
live
alone
and
on the
hang out.
sidelines.
So we utilize that to our benefit as much as we can. We got a little Halloween party tonight.
Great to be joined by Josh Allen, the quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
I had to skip it a little bit.
Tommy,
here
we
we
talk
go.
about it a lot on this program. You were
This is
so
the main-
proficient
main
at running,
point.
and you just love it when you see Josh run. What's your advice to him about that, running the football?
Well, I think that, this is I have a lot of pet peeves because, at 23 years of playing, I have a lot of pet peeves about the way the guys would run routes, about the way offensive linemen would stand in the huddle, about guys jogging on and off the field. Like, I had a lot of pet peeves. I'm sure Dable could probably name a bunch of my pet peeves. But I think from a quarterback standpoint, I really, because I love these quarterbacks and I love the way they play and the passion they have, I want to see them play for a long time too. And someone like Josh, for example, that I see has this amazing ability that not a lot of guys have: size, speed, strength, obviously his ability to throw the football. He was a little wild early on. That's settled down. He's a little more accurate now, but because he makes a lot of plays running the ball, I think sometimes he gets used and he wants to run it because he knows he can gain yards. There's a lot of confidence in it. But the only problem is, from my standpoint, you're putting yourself in harm's way. And when you put yourself in harm's way, it doesn't take much, for someone to land on you,
I love Josh's
to
answer
set you
here.
back, And I separated my left shoulder. I separated my right shoulder. In fact, in a quarterback sneak, we played when I was at Tampa.
God, this guy likes to talk,
I
Sean.
separated my right shoulder on a quarterback
Go
sneak
Tom
on the
Brady.
goal line. Milano in the end zone separated my right shoulder, and it bothered me the rest of the season. But, look, I was trying to gain 1 yard, and gaining that 1 yard cost me 8 weeks of arm pain. Now, in my mind, could I have given that to my 230-pound halfback? Yeah, I probably could have. Now, in the moment, I'm like, no, I got to get this ball in. So that's kind of the decisions you make as a quarterback. And I would love to see Josh save those for very special moments and special occasions to run the ball rather than to run the ball 6 minutes into the game on a 2nd and 6, and not that he shouldn't run, but when he does run, fucking slide and make sure no one hits you, because I don't want to see him ever, get hurt. And I want to see him out there playing every week because he's such a fucking stud. And he could do a lot of things that I couldn't do back there, but at the same time, I want to see him play another, 10 to 12 years and really see how he can maximize potential, because he loves the sport, and he loves his teammates, and Buffalo's got a great quarterback in him. And, he's got to evolve his thinking a little bit as he goes, just to be a little smarter with when the ball's in his hands.
As Bill
your
would say,
response is,
land
sir?
the plane.
He's going to say I'm right.
No,
Thank you.
He is right. I'm not saying that he's wrong. But you could get hurt in the pocket just as much as you can outside the pocket. That's the only caveat that I have for that. And I got hurt early on in my career, my rookie year, my UCL. And I was throwing the ball, and I got jammed up between two guys. And, I think you said it earlier. I think it was one of your ads. It's not if, it's when, right? And I think that everybody in their career, the football's going to get you at some point, right? Whether it's long-term or short-term, you're going to get hurt at some point just because of how violent this sport is. And, obviously limiting and mitigating the risk is the name of the game, and the best ability is availability, and all those talking points and cliches too. But you got to go win a football game, and sometimes it calls upon me doing.
All right, so I don't know. It's funny hearing that from Tom Brady, but
So it's exactly what I expect Tom Brady to say about running.
Yeah.
Somebody who can't run would say you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Josh Allen isn't Tom Brady. I don't want Josh Allen to be Tom Brady. So if Josh Allen doesn't ever run again and continues playing his, I'm fine with him sliding. I like him sliding. He's protecting himself there. But he has to be more willing to go out and make plays that he was making last year and the year before. It seems like now he's trying to force himself to stay in the pocket too much. He's not playing like the person that he should be playing as.
I'm wondering if a lot of these teams now are putting a spy on him.
He had two of them on one play last night.
2 spies on him?
They had 2 spies right on him.
Yeah. I mean, they're like a Bill Belichick, right? They take away your best player, and so if you're going to put a spy on him.
You know what helps that? A running game. If you can actually run the ball, that will open that the spy can't spy Josh Allen at that point. Then you get play action. It's a wonderful thing. They should try it out.
So we'd have like 4 dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dimensions all over the place.
I think that's why we all salivated for it's Derrick Henry from Tennessee, because if you get a player like him, it forces the organization to utilize him.
You don't got the lineman for that guy.
It doesn't matter. I mean, he's a power
Use him
back.
as a lineman.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a power back. But
Or Fournette.
We can make excuses for the offensive line all you want, but a running back is capable of getting 2 or 3 or 4 yards. They ran the ball a couple of times. It doesn't seem like there's a commitment to continuously try to run the ball ever this season. Like they'll run it once or twice, give up on it for a quarter, run it 3 or 4 more times, give up for a half. They ditch it, and I think that's more of a coaching organizational benefit than it is that we don't have a line, we don't have a running back.
You know what my wife asked me last night when we were watching the game? She said, "Why does he run into all those people?" I said, "Well, you're supposed to have a hole there, but our offensive line is terrible."
You talking about the Cook handoff,
Yeah.
the standard play they run every game?
Yep.
And at least Cook's able to, he usually can squeak out like 2 or 3 yards through 0 hole. Can you imagine what happens if they...
Yeah.
Like I saw a couple games, when we used to be good this season. He had some nice runs because they were able to make him a freaking hole to run through.
Yeah, I look Cook. I have that in my notes too, that Cook looked pretty good last night when they actually used him.
Yeah.
It was 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to defense. Dane Jackson.
Collinsworth loved him in the first
Oh,
half.
yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Couldn't stop talking
He
about
was
him.
playing really good. He was playing well.
He was.
And then, whatever.
No, he's hurt too, right? No, I'm not kidding.
I think
I'm
he
pretty
was.
sure he
plays
is.
on defense, right? So of course he's hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the injury report. I don't think it's that serious. It's probably going to be fine. But he's another guy that's like dinged up.
I think he was a we'll see. Him and Hyde were a we'll see.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you got going on over there?
Say.
Are we looking at the injury report?
We are. Yeah. Benford hamstring, Klein back.
Klein.
I mean,
Guy's
they
been out for
actually
weeks.
have Josh Allen now for right shoulder.
Yeah.
But that's what they have right now for the injury report, the official injury report.
Yeah, I know McDermott mentioned Benford, mentioned Hyde, and mentioned somebody else. But
there was 4.
Yeah, and
Someone,
I think
Hyde
it was Jackson
will be fine.
too.
No, I don't know.
I will tell you this: when I
Linebacker.
saw Hyde go down, my immediate reaction
Neck.
was, "Don't be his neck."
Right.
Don't be his neck.
Because then Hamlin's coming in. Most likely.
Hyde did miss a pretty big tackle. I think it was Hyde on that the touchdown by Sample, I think is the one tight end.
Yeah.
Not saying he should be hurt. Just he
was. I think
that was not
was
good.
Mostly like just kind of out of position too.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a great throw, exactly where it had to be.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, Cincinnati is one of the best teams in the AFC. I mean, Cincinnati is definitely good. Yeah. So I'm not saying
great.
That they're not. I wouldn't say great.
But why are they not
They're
great?
building up.
Why are they not great?
They're peaking at the right
because
time.
I don't want them to be great.
Well, here's the deal. But again, I mean, for everyone who wants Josh Allen to be Josh Allen, they're not great right now because their quarterback was injured for the first half of the year. It's exactly what Bill's organization is trying to do. Is, okay, we realize that Josh Allen is ride or die. If he is not there, we will not make it, period, point blank. So let's preserve him for the playoffs when all the chains and shackles come off of that guy. I understand we're not winning games, so who knows if we get in the playoffs. But I understand that's the mentality the organization is trying to take. Preserve him past week 18.
What if he doesn't have chains on him, though? What if this whole time we've been assuming he's chains and this is who he is?
And what happens if he goes down for 4 weeks?
Your buddy comes in.
My buddy comes in. Does anybody have faith that my good friend, who I support resoundingly, can get the Buffalo Bills into a playoffs?
No, they're going to have to fight to bring Dobbs in.
Well, we can rely on our running game, right? Can't we?
Crickets.
I'm just saying, like, maybe we're all assuming that he's chained up the leash.
But
we are all assuming.
Can we understand that they want to preserve this? guy.
Maybe that's the excuse that we're using because of how he's playing.
I get it.
Right? Another game, fifth game in a row of another interception. It's a shitty throw.
Yeah, but he's going to have his interceptions.
I'm okay with deflections.
Like
he's rifling one across the middle and whatever, but that guy had inside on Davis, and like maybe Davis was in the wrong spot or the ball. I don't know.
No, so it's a bad read. He threw it to the.
But is he blatantly missing open guys? Is he making bad decisions, or is he being rushed a ton because our offensive line sucks? Or is the play calling terrible? We're throwing short passes and never getting the first downs, and we're not running the ball, and like you said, not opening up the running game. Like, I don't really think that Josh is playing that bad. I think this offense is not clicking. And okay, maybe people say, well, it starts with him. I don't think it starts with him. I think it starts with Dorsey.
Or your O line. Yeah. I think the stronger your line is, the more comfortable you'll be back there.
Josh was fumbling all over the place and looking like crap. I would be more worried about the entire team. But this just leaves me like fumbling every week. I'm just like, how is this offense like not scoring points?
Right, and that's what I'm going to get to. This is the Dr. Dudzik moment, that the enlightened view that I have. The Bills' offense looks like they're out of whack. It looks like you need.
They definitely need an adjustment.
They do. They nice. Look like I can't put my thumb on it. Do they have too many weapons? They don't know what to do with it. They can't spread it out the right way. And when they do, they ignore certain individuals, whether it's a running game or Gabe Davis or whoever. It's almost like they need to get on the same page, and we've seen that for the last month. The Bills' offense has been sputtering. They don't seem to have a plan, which goes back to one of the first things we talk about, coaching.
When does Josh Allen look the most comfortable back there? What formation does he look most comfortable in?
Well, he loves the shotgun.
Shotgun, empty backfield.
They say
five
it's
wide.
Well documented. He does not like being under center.
So I don't understand why they couldn't run that J gun again.
Because they have to make adjustments.
Who does?
Yes.
What they need to do is play
Very
complementary offense.
Yeah.
Really is what they need to do.
They need to do what they're good at.
Yeah. Which is?
I have no idea,
right.
And neither do they. They got to
right.
figure it out, because whatever they're adjusting to isn't working.
Or they're not adjusting because their coaches are buns.
Yeah.
Well, I said it before too, that
booty cheeks.
The best thing about coaches is that you have to play to your players' strengths. So if Josh Allen doesn't like to be under center, don't put him under center that much. Or 11 personnel, maybe he works better out of that. Maybe more slot guys, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You realize that Josh Allen has all the power on this team, right? Short of writing the checks.
Maybe he shouldn't.
Did you hear that comment they made during the game yesterday when Josh Allen He basically texted during the NFL draft, get Kincaid, and look who they drafted. They got Kincaid. So I want to say 90%.
Maybe he should be GM. He seems to pick him pretty good.
That's good, but I think we're fools to think that Josh Allen is being led here. I think he's doing a lot of the leading, rightfully so. He's the star. He should be leading. But to let him off the hook here and think that he's the one who's just throwing the ball, trying to execute a play, I think Josh has 90% of both the glory and the infamy that goes along with his offense.
So you're saying that he's doing most of the play calling?
I don't know if he's doing most of the play calling, but that man, outside of the owner, has the most influence in that locker room, in this market, on that team. I mean,
he is the face of the team.
He's the face of the team, and to sit there and kind of let him off the hook a little bit. And he doesn't like going under center, or he prefers going. If you want to go shotgun, he'd be there every play. Josh Allen has that power. He's one of the few players who has that power. That being said, Josh wants to win. And these plays are the ones that, whether it's analytics, coaching, scouting, whatever, give them the best chance to win.
I think something looks a little bit off on some of his throws. I don't know how to explain it.
It could be the shoulder.
It probably is the shoulder.
But then why the frick is he throwing it downfield to a guy that's well covered again?
No, it's more the short routes. Like that one that he went to Kincaid where he rifled it in there. Just something with his motion looks weird. I don't know if it's because he's getting hurried because our O-line absolutely sucks, but I don't know.
Burrow looked good under pressure yesterday.
Well, this isn't a Bengals podcast.
You're right. It is not.
You mean Burrows?
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh, we'll have to get that in the...
You said Burrow.
Oh, sorry. Correctly. Sean, what are we doing?
No, I
are you fact-checking yourself?
No, not at all. There's no facts to check.
He owns 82% of the team?
Yeah, 82%. No, but I was looking at the Bills' offensive line because we've been bagging on them. They're ranked number 22. So, I mean, this was 12 hours ago. So, I guess the stats do back it up that our offensive line is a problem. It's not something that could really be addressed, but, I mean, just as we want to play to our strengths, we have to recognize our weakness and make adjustments.
Screen passes.
So,
oh my God, no, they're terrible.
What? It's terrible.
The Bills can't really run a screen.
They haven't been able to run one since Josh Allen's been here.
At all, which mystifies me. I think Cincinnati had one screen pass with one blocker and one guy. They broke it for like 8 to 10 yards.
The Bills' screen is the quick screen to a wide receiver, which works, 10% of the time? No, that's...
It worked
5%.
Who'd they throw it to the one game? Hardy?
Yeah, but it's...
And he did a little shimmy shake and got the first down.
In New England, I think. Yeah, that was
it's
great.
like, why don't you run that more? Yeah, I don't know.
Since Sean was Googling things too.
You started Googling too?
Yeah.
Dennis is Googling now.
We were talking about penalties. And
it's contagious.
I found this on 3 websites, and I have no idea.
It's true.
Yeah, I don't know. So there are 5 teams that have been flagged 60 times. They are Kansas City, Chicago, Green Bay, Dallas, and Buffalo.
Oh, a minimum of 60?
No, exactly 60 times.
Oh, that's nice.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like they have a quota.
Yep.
Cincinnati, 37 times. They are the lowest.
They said they're the lowest, yeah.
Real quick, Skip. Do you know what those teams have in common, minus the Buffalo Bills?
Enlighten us.
I think they're all in playoff contention, which tells you that penalties play no role in this league.
Oh.
Skip, I got to
hold on.
Wait. I want to fire this guy up. Skip, what was...
No. Don't do that to him.
What was the worst penalty? What penalty pissed you off the most last night?
It must have been whatever he saw in the first half.
It could be a penalty flag or a missed call. Go, Skip.
Is the fucking trip.
2. I have 2.
Okay.
I have the taunting. And the reason I don't like the taunting is because of the fact that...
It was innocuous.
Because if he gets one more... Then he's out of the game for pointing at a guy. For pointing.
I heard that. That's ridiculous. You can get kicked out for that.
For 2,
but not.
Can you imagine if they did that with offensive fucking holding or false starts?
You're right. That is.
You do that again, you're out.
So it's all about the sportsmanship. Then it's not about like 2 personal fouls on a 2 roughing the passer plays.
See, the thing is, it's the NFL. It's no more running up the score. They're professionals.
I think you can rough the passer as many times as you want.
That's probably.
Like, there's nothing for face masks, but you can't point at somebody twice.
That's ridiculous.
Mike, what was your penalty that pissed you off the most?
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah. Was the intentional grounding was absolutely bogus.
The worst part about that was they had the
head referee retired, Terry, whatever his name, come on.
Who was like, that's how the rules are. Like, shut up.
Exactly.
The ball was thrown. You can't have.
I think he said there was some gray area on that one. The ref.
Yeah, but
the rule is
because the receiver broke off the route.
But if the receiver is on the outside of the numbers, they can
throw
overthrow him as far as you want.
That's what he said. Yep.
But it has to be over their head.
He was directly under center. By the spirit of the law, they're right with that penalty.
Who was under center?
Josh Allen was under center.
If
he was
the receiver is outside,
the numbers.
that's what they explained.
No, that's what they said.
The quarterback's got to be outside the hash marks.
He was in the hash. He was in the numbers.
He was inside.
On the broadcast, they did say the receiver outside the numbers.
If the receiver is outside the numbers,
not where the quarterback is.
Not where the quarterback is. If the receiver's outside the numbers, he can be overthrown as far as he wants.
It was confusing because in the graphic they drew the lines of the tackle box.
Yeah, and he was in it.
I think even Collinsworth was like, "What is going on here?" So I think at that point we have to all question ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was definitely the roughing the passer. That penalty, they ended up scoring a touchdown on that drive. It was not roughing the passer.
No,
we had him stopped.
No. So, hey Skip, what was your
yes.
your ownership?
I don't want to get him going, but let's ask Skip questions.
Well, I'm going to stir the pot.
He keeps looking at his phone, so I
have a call with a client at 8:30. I got to get to. But,
okay.
Is it Randy?
Here's my. No, it's not Randy.
Whoa! Why are we plugging him?
Do I need to be on it?
No,
they don't know who that is.
Here's my issue. I do not think the Pagulas care if they win a Super Bowl. I don't think his goal was to win a Super Bowl. I think he is a billionaire who wants to be one of. Would actually only be 31 because Green Bay is not owned by a person. It's
you
owned
think
by
it's just
a thing.
another
it's
laundering?
Just, no, not a
operation
it's a look at Russia Mafia laundering. Correct, exactly.
Mafia.
It's a look at me. I'm part of this club. I'm a billionaire. And I can have whatever I want, but there's only 31 of us that have an NFL team. I think his intentions when he bought the Sabres, which had become a dumpster fire, but we've got a great locker room. I mean, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. Nice. We've put everything in there. Everything is shiny and beautiful and fantastic.
Except for the turd that you have on the field of the ice.
Exactly. He bought the Sabres because he knew that at some point Ralph was going to pass away, and if you own one franchise, it's so much easier to get an NFL franchise. I think that was his goal all along. I don't think he cares if he wins. I think it's all smoke and mirrors, and I am not a Pagula fan.
I'm going to take that and be your counterbalance right here, Skip. He's a billionaire.
What is this? Point counterpoint?
Yeah, it is, Skip. And I'm going to Terry. I'm not. This is
News Hour with PBS or what?
This is your Bruins fan speaking, Terry. I know you're listening to the podcast. So
hey, they finally lost. Thank God.
I want you to understand this. There's when you're a billionaire, there's not a lot left for you, but there is a legacy well after you die. And if when the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl, that owner, that quarterback, that coach is going to be a legend for hundreds of years in this city.
Okay.
For people living on Mars.
You explain to me. If that's the truth, name me the last 3 owners that have won a Super Bowl. My point exactly.
Oh, I get
to their fan base.
Yeah, I mean to their fan base. I mean, but you can't deny the fact that man wants his name. He's got his name on the Penn State Arena. He's got his name everywhere, whether it's downtown Buffalo or everywhere. He wants to live as a legend, and if he wins the Super Bowl, he will. Listen, how do you determine if an owner makes money? Do they spend money? That man spends the max. He got Josh Allen to sign a 6-year contract. I mean,
he spends the max because it's money that's given to him by the NFL. He has not spent any of his own money on those. That's all money that comes in
for that
the NFL.
That stadium, right?
Totally disagree. The Bills are going to get a brand new stadium, first
Which
time
you
in
and I are
50
paying
years,
for.
which
Yep.
is fine. We paid for the Giants and Jets one. We paid for the Giants and Jets one. We don't even go to their game. So listen, we're not on the hook for the whole thing. He's putting up money for part of it. The tax owner, should be fine, tax owners, because you want to know why? If the taxpayers have investment in the stadium, that's more likely they're going to stay here. It's not ironclad, but you know what? We've invested in that team. None of this we're going to pick up and move to Houston. Talk. So I have no problems with that. But the only way an owner can show whether or not he's loyal, he's committed, is does he spend? And I've never seen Terry not put the checkbook down, put the pen down, and not spend to bring a championship team to this city.
So he spent $1.2 billion to buy that team. What's it worth today?
Triple? I mean, no, he didn't spend $1.2 billion.
$1.2 billion to buy the Bills.
He spent
$1.2 billion. He wrote a check for $1.2 billion
for the Buffalo Bills.
For the Buffalo Bills. What are they worth today?
It's got to be a lot more.
Exactly.
Yeah. And,
so
we can't knock him for being a good businessman. That's a great investment.
It is a great investment, which is part of it too. It's a money thing with these guys. It's about how much more can I accumulate and how. You're one of 31 people that are that special.
Tell me the one time he objected to his general manager or coach wanting to bring someone here.
Okay, so he gets here, he fires. Well, Marone left, thank God.
Oh God, that guy.
You know,
forgot about him.
$6 million to send him out the door. It was money well spent, or $3 million, whatever his buyout was on that he took. And what does he do? He doesn't go get a general manager. He goes and hires a coach. Then he gets a general manager. That is half-assed backwards. You don't do it that way. Your general manager is the one who's supposed to run your football operations for you from a personnel standpoint, and that means hiring the freaking coach. You don't hire a coach and then hire a general manager.
Well, isn't that like how the Sabres are still missing a president of operations?
Oh, for God, don't even get me started on those guys.
Skip, do you know why I did that? Because he spent $1.2 billion on a team and he can do that.
Yeah, you're right. He can. Go ahead, Terry.
Go
ahead.
You know what I have to say about that? Win a goddamn Super Bowl. Yeah. That's it.
Hey, listen, when he bought the Sabres, didn't he give a 5-year guarantee?
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
I think
he's about 10 years too late.
Yeah.
You guys keep getting him going, and he throws the microphone at me, just so we're on the same page.
You're Sean's in the same thing. Like, him and I are sharing the microphone, and he'll go on a 10-minute rant and then put the microphone back in front of me.
And you've forgotten everything you said?
Knowing for sure that he's going to be grabbing it in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it.
You guys keep talking about how much he paid for the Bills, and I remember a funny tweet that Jesse Pagula put out. So Jesse Pagula puts a tweet out that says, "My father just bought the Bills, and I'm sitting here crying. My father walks in the room and says, 'You're crying. I'm the one who's broke.'" Because he bought them. That was good.
Except right now on Wikipedia, I looked up his net worth is $7 billion.
Yeah. And half of that's from the Bills. Yeah. I'm sorry, $1.4 billion.
I was going to say,
thank you, fact checker.
I was going to say, I think maybe he bought them just so that people would know who his daughter was and get more shots at like tennis.
Is that what it was?
You know, in the tennis arena. Yeah, because I never heard of her before him.
No.
And now she's
fourth, fifth.
Yeah, but gotta give credit where credit's due. You know, I had friends going back before Terry bought the game that literally invested in the Buffalo Bills season tickets when they hadn't been in the playoffs in 17 years. And I asked them, I said, why are you? And their answer was real simple. If I don't do it, they're going to move the team. And I remember that when he came on the air, WGR, you had grown men bawling their eyes out on live radio because Terry bought the team. And we can't forget that. We can't forget the fact that we had that cloud, Toronto Bills. We had the cloud, whether it was Louisville or Houston.
Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi.
I still will
there you
not
go.
listen to Bon
Donald
Jovi.
fucking Trump right there. There's your F-bomb. Remember Donald Trump wanted to buy the Buffalo Bills? Yeah. I mean, we had that like the gallows hanging over our head. And here this guy comes in. Right, I'm sorry. Well, you know what?
I was going to bring up that Toronto series. That was a scary
Oh my
time.
God! They didn't even want the Bills. They hated watching pro football in Toronto. But Terry brought stability to a franchise, and we can't forget that. We've been living in the glory days the last 3 or 4 years. We got a quarterback, but I don't know how else to address it.
No, this is pretty
you weren't
short
here
for
last
us.
week.
Yeah,
yeah, buddy.
Real quick, one last thing. I'm sure we're moving on to predictions and stuff. So one last thing I wanted to bring up tonight. A good friend of mine just got Bills Fan of the Year, Del Reed.
Oh, yeah.
He's co-founder of the Bills Mafia. He's a good dude. And it's not even about the Bills Mafia. It's about the 26 shirts. You guys know all about that?
Yep.
Yeah. So he's a good guy. He'd be a good guy to have on here, actually.
It's your friend or acquaintance?
Yeah. No, he's my friend. I'll call him. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
That'd be interesting to get him on.
Cool to have on.
Some free teas.
Fan of the
man.
Year. He's going to the Super Bowl.
You're gonna
Does he
45
have free T-shirts from a charity? Come on, dude.
Oh, please. There's got to be some ones that, got a little misprinted or something like that.
Yeah, the donation bin.
Does he have fat guy shirts?
Yeah,
Fat guy shirts?
The donate.
So I just want to say kudos to him, man.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he does a lot of good stuff.
Dell is a cool dude. I
watch it.
don't know him personally. I not to flex on this one, but I have a custom suit that I had partly through a friend of mine who had hooked me up from stuff I did for him. And I wanted the Bills Mafia logo on a liner, and I had to get permission for him. And I emailed him, and I explained to him, why I am a Bills fan and kind of why I wanted it. And it's because my grandmother, she was a diehard Bills fan. I remember going to her house on Sundays. That's how I got hooked on the team. And in memory of her honor, I wanted to have this. And he was so generous to say, go, take it. I'll send the clip art over to your tailor and let him take care of it for you.
Excellent.
And I actually had a chance to talk to him. I don't remember where it was, Christmas somewhere, ran into him, introduced myself, and him and his wife could not have been more pleasant, took the time to talk to me. Just a genuine good dude. Cannot say enough good things about him.
I didn't know they had their own logo. Bills Mafia had like a copyrighted logo.
Yep, and they actually signed a deal with the Bills so that they would use it back and forth. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Cool.
Skip, didn't you, for a wedding, did you not have that on your jacket?
So I did. I wore that, and then he was nice enough to let my son have the same thing, so we had matching suits. And it was my son and I are both huge fans. Yes.
Anybody here willing to say they will not cry when the Buffalo Bills win a Super Bowl?
Dude, I am going to be there.
Cry.
There will
Of course.
be snot bubbles coming out of my nose.
Right.
Oh, that's great.
I mean,
I'm guessing I don't have to worry about it for a while though. Sorry.
Have you?
I don't.
we can all dream, can't we?
Well, yes.
Have you guys seen the clip of the Texas Rangers fan?
No.
The guy, he's standing in front of the television. The third out hits, and he just sits down in his chair and starts bawling. And his son tweets that my father said to me, or my mother said, he didn't cry this much when you were born. And he goes, I've known you 23 years. I've known the Rangers my entire life. So that'll be all of us if the Bills win, or the Sabres for that matter.
Yeah. Who wins first, Bills or Sabres?
Bills.
Bills.
I die first.
I don't even want
Yeah. Yeah, right?
Skip the Bills or Sabres. Who's going to last the longest?
You mean who's not going to get moved out first? Is that what you're asking, Sean?
We got to go to picks because you got to leave.
No, hold on.
What's that?
Is
What?
your question which team gets shipped out of Buffalo first?
No, neither of them. They'll be here until we die. But are we going to see a championship, or is Skip going to die? I mean,
I'm
that's
gonna die.
Hey, listen.
And I'm going to be buried in my suit.
I love.
I'm gonna take something that Corey mentioned earlier, unless you want to talk about it.
Corey, are you here, Corey?
I don't know.
Okay, so I was delivering. I was at the new build site today for the stadium, and they installed fresh graves for the Bills' playoff chances and Super Bowl opportunity.
That was your
Did
joke?
you get a picture
That's
of that?
your joke.
That wasn't a story.
That was your joke. I took.
Yeah.
That was funny.
He sent me a Snapchat of the Bills of the
stadium.
the stadium
construction
and
job in the hole.
I didn't see that. I just saw the Buffalo Bills
Yeah.
and the sunrise over. So I said, "Oh, are there any grave sites out there denoting the end of our season yet?"
Yeah, probably next week. Oh God. Okay, so if they lose at Denver, out or
Done. Season's over.
because then who do you have? Chiefs, then Chargers, something like that.
We have the Jets and
Philly.
the Eagles, I think.
Oh God.
No, yeah, Jets. So Broncos, Jets, and then Eagles,
And then Chiefs.
and then bye, and then Chiefs. Yeah,
And then Cowboys.
Oh shoot! Look at that. Someone put the schedule up there.
Yeah.
Broncos, Jets, Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Chargers. Oh boy.
This is going to be rough. The roughest part of the schedule. At least if you would have looked at this schedule.
Someone said someone has a
coming into
harder
it.
schedule.
I think Miami. Miami's got to play.
Hey, Bud, you gotta talk in the mic.
I did.
Corey's been hogging it the entire time.
They got a tough schedule. I don't know if it's as tough as ours.
So here's Miami.
Sean said it
has
was, so it is.
The Raiders in Miami this weekend. Then they're at the Jets. Then at the Commanders. Then the Titans at Miami. Jets at Miami. So the Jets twice. Cowboys at Miami. They play at the Ravens. That's going to be a tough game. And then us.
So they got like 2 hard games. Ravens.
I don't know.
Cowboys.
I want to see them play the Jets defense.
The Jets could be.
They might go 1-1 with the Jets. I like to see that.
Yeah, we also have the Jets.
Yep.
But we also have the Chargers.
So we got 3 more
And then
divisionals.
the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Are we last in?
We will be.
So we're tied. We're in 3rd place in our division, right? Because we lose the tiebreaker with the Patriots.
It depends on if the Jets win.
Well, the Patriots are only 2-7, so they're down there.
Patriots are 2-7.
Yeah, we lose the tiebreaker with
It's
the
the
Jets.
first time. This is the worst they've been since 2000.
I thought I saw on a graphic yesterday they were like 4-3 or 3-4.
No, that's us.
All right.
I can cut that shit out.
So is anyone going to pick?
I'll pick. I got to get it out.
Broncos.
Go, Skip.
I'm going to pick.
Hold on.
All right, hang on. You got to get ready here. You want to know what I want?
No, I'm just telling you, we're favored by 7.5 last I saw.
Hate Vegas.
Vegas sucks.
They do.
Gotten it right.
All right. Who thinks the refs are helping out Vegas? That's what they're getting calls to do.
Okay, so last time we were 7-point favorites was what? Buccaneers, and we ended up losing. Right? We were 8.
I think that was 9, 9.5.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay.
We beat 'em.
Okay. Skip. Let her rip.
All right. I am going to pick Bills 23, Broncos 14.
Okay. Who's next? Anybody? And no
I'll go
order at
next.
all.
I'll go next. I think the Bills understand this is their season on the line. I think they're going to know that for the next 3 or 4 weeks that they lose this one, their season's done. They're going to start resting players. I got the Bills winning 30-10.
I would love to see.
I'll go. He had to go. Yeah.
He said that.
Did he even say like go Bills?
Skip left.
Silent exit.
I don't know.
Oh, look at that. He texted me. He said, go Bills.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. So I got Sean 30-10. Okay. Who's next?
I'll go. So
Hold on. Way down here.
I said it last week
Okay.
and I was wrong, so I'm going to say it this week and I'm going to be right. It's going to be Bills 31, and I'm going to say Bills 31 and Denver. I'm going to give them 16.
All right.
It tells you on the left.
Oh yeah, it does.
See how it's got blue?
What was that score?
31-16.
Okay. Who's next? I need to hire someone for
Oh,
this.
also
stuff.
Dalton Kincaid's going to get another touchdown.
All right. Let me put it. Let me put a note in there. Okay.
I can go. I would say 31-17 Bills.
31-17.
Yep, I think they have to. I think that whoever else said it was they were right that the Bills know what's on the line and they gotta do something. They're at home Monday night. Hopefully the refs are better. We'll see.
Okay. Brendon or Corey?
Go ahead.
Crap. I don't feel like staying. My biggest problem last night is we all have jobs, so we get up in the morning, and as it is, I have a tough time falling asleep Sunday nights. They're usually pretty bad, and I absolutely hated trying to have to fall asleep after that and then get up and go to work tomorrow. I don't want to watch another fucking primetime game.
I have to get up at 4:00 tomorrow. You think I want to?
Me.
Freaking next Monday. I think.
Yeah, I know.
These primetime
Right?
games suck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tired of them.
Yep.
I will go 35 to not 12. I'm going to go 35-14.
That's Bills, right? Because I just.
We'll see.
Because I typed it in.
Yeah, no, Bills.
So she want me to just leave a score there?
No. Okay. Keep it Bills.
All right. Brendon?
I will pick the Bills, even though I don't know if I want to. I don't believe in them right now very much, and I will not be scoring them as high as most other people have here. I will say 24-18.
Okay.
Probably coming down to the last drive, defending a pass in the end zone.
I'll pose a question after Kyle.
I'd like to hear your question.
No, put your prediction in. It has to be afterwards.
Kyle is picking the Broncos.
Oh, he's deleting that.
love that question.
He's picking the Bronco.
Burrow.
I put that in there just to stir some shit up, but
Give me something to throw at him.
wait a minute. Did you really pick, Corey, did you pick 35-14 or did that autofill to something else?
I did, but it looked weird. It looked like it changed real quick.
Well, tabbed over.
All right, so Mike, you said the spread was what?
7.5. Yep.
In Buffalo, weather should be nice.
Let me double check, see if it changed.
Keep in mind the
Bills-
spreads have been accurate.
Bills.
I'm double checking the spread, see if it changed.
I think it was.
I
Okay.
don't think we've beaten the spread since Miami.
Dude.
It's still 7.5.
Okay, so
We've barely
the
beat
Chiefs, did anyone watch the Chiefs-Broncos game? Okay, tell me what happened there. Mahomes was just that bad?
Yeah, he was injured and sick. Yeah, I mean, that was a team where a good team just didn't have it that week. But he was either sick and hobbling around and injured. He was a mess. So I mean, it was the Broncos played a great game. I don't see it happening again.
What's the Broncos' record?
3-5.
Is it that good?
Is it? Yeah, I think so. I think I just looked at it.
3 and
5.
6.
3 and 6.
3 and 5. I'm sorry.
3 and 5.
My blind eyes. 3 and 5.
I will say the Broncos always play the Chiefs hard. Last year they played them within one-score games.
Yep.
I think it was both games last year.
Division.
And the Chiefs almost lost to them last year. So
All right,
it's
I'm
a
gonna-
divisional thing. Not to sway you.
I'm going to go Bills 19. That's a fucked up number. No, just kidding.
I could see it. One touchdown.
One
Four field
touchdown,
goals.
7, 9. I'm going to go like Bills. You know what? I'll go with this. Bills 17-13. And I think they're going to lose.
All right. So let me ask you guys
You gotta
this.
pick them then. If you think they're going to lose, I want to see Broncos up there.
All right, fine.
Kyle is changing it to Broncos.
Oh my god.
Broncosa.
Do you know how depressing this podcast is going to be if they lose to the Bills? I mean, the Jaguars was tough.
Can
the
I-
Giants was a scare.
Can I give you some stuff that
Patriots
won't help?
was a body blow. The Chiefs, the Bengals, I could understand a little bit. If you lose the Broncos, I retire from the Bills podcast. I can't do it.
It just might be more
Whoa,
pizza.
bro.
It just might be more pizza than
It
Bills.
might just be more. Yeah, I like that. It might be more pizza. I'm just kidding, Kyle. It's okay.
Let's hear it, Mike.
I mean, let's be honest. This makes for
Losses are more interesting. We get to vent a lot more, but
could talk so much shit.
So Russell Wilson has 16 passing touchdowns. Josh has 18. Russell has 4 interceptions. Josh has 9.
4.
Russell has a 101.7 rating. Josh is at 99.
Fuck.
So that score, he has those stats.
That's season.
For the season.
Oh,
so far.
not like the last 3 games.
Nope. That's full season.
I thought Russell Wilson was having a shit season.
well, I think his
last year it was so bad.
I think his defense is having a pretty shit season. I mean,
He
all
does.
those great numbers, but they're 3 and 5.
He does have 800
I mean, they're
less
2
yards.
games below 5. I mean, something's got to give with that team.
Okay, real quick before you guys go on, the over-under is 46.5.
No, I'm just looking at overall. Everyone went, I think, over, except for me.
I did not.
All right. So let me ask you guys this.
Yeah, let's hit it.
Let's say the Bills blow them out 45-7. What would that change?
Well, it would be nice to see some offense.
That's
But would that
help me
change
sleep at night.
your opinions about the entire season, or do you think that would be a fluke, similar to some of their losses?
For me, it wouldn't change any. I don't think a whole lot at all. I expect them to beat the Broncos. I mean, you'd love to see them, really beat them really pretty bad. But I don't think it would change a whole lot. I mean, I think sometimes like when they're having trouble, like the way they have the last few weeks, I think if you can stack one win on top of another, I think that helps. So, yep.
You could build momentum, but I think he's right. I don't think it does anything. It keeps the Bills afloat. It keeps our hopes up, but it does absolutely nothing in terms of the overall confidence we have in this franchise as it stands right now. Beat an Eagles, beat a Chiefs. They had the opportunity to beat the Bengals and really bring us back up, right? All tides rise, all boats. That was the opportunity, and they fared well. They fared okay, but until you beat a heavy hitter, I don't think the confidence is going to go up at all.
I know, and that's but that's kind of what I was saying. Like, this is one that they should win. If they win it as they should win it, does it fix anything that's happened in the past couple weeks, or is it like you almost like are taking that kind of like a loss where you don't know what to think next week.
I guess to me it'll be a little bit of a boost, I would say, just like, hey, we know how to score points, because I was just pulling up the scores from the last 4 games. The Giants, I think everyone could say, pretty bad team. We scored 14 points. Patriots, pretty bad team. We scored 25. Bucks, okay team. We scored 24, and then we just put up 18. I mean, we have not hit over 25 since we played Miami.
Here.
So if you can get, show that you know how to pass the football and catch it and run into that place at the end of the field that they can't ever seem to find, or maybe if they establish a running game that kind of, does something for us, maybe it's a move in the right direction. But you should beat this team. You should beat them by a lot. It'll just say, okay, we live to fight again. Now we're going to play some good opponents. Can you keep the wheels rolling?
Let's just hope Josh does not do what Josh does and plays down to his opponent.
Right. Well, we're playing down to everybody, so.
Yeah.
Sean, what are we Googling?
Right. Just want to see a win.
We did it.
Yeah. All right. Well, another dismal. What?
No, I was just laughing.
About what?
About the close of the
agreement that it's dismal.
Well, another dismal podcast here in Buffalo here.
All right. That's those are the trains going somewhere.
Leaving
frick.
here.
All right.
The championship train.
Coming home.
Coming home. All right.
Go Bills.
Yeah, let's go Bills. Zaw Bills Podcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by Doug's Chiropractic and Empire Tow and Recovery. Please listen, then rate, review, and follow all episodes. Zaw Bills is executively produced by Kyle. Executive sound engineering by Kyle. Art, lighting, music, also by Kyle.